Have you ever awakened in the morning and sensed something feels altered? Not merely the haze of slumber or the rigidity in your spine? I'm referring to the type of vitality you possessed in your 20s, that silent, assured preparedness in your physiology that conveyed, "I remain a man." If that sensation has been absent recently, I want to reveal a straightforward, natural approach that could facilitate its restoration. And it commences with what you consume before retiring. As a urologist with more than a decade of expertise assisting men beyond 50 in feeling robust, assured, and reconnected with their wellness, tonight we're discussing one bedtime beverage that may astonish you with its potency. I understand it seems almost excessively elementary, just a beverage before sleep, truly? But before dismissing it and pursuing something more elaborate, remain attentive. Because what I'm preparing to disclose isn't some trending novelty. It's not a miraculous elixir extracted from recent marketing enthusiasm. It's grounded in something far more substantial, the genuine biology of your physiology, particularly after reaching 50. And when you comprehend how these natural transformations unfold internally, this modest bedtime practice suddenly becomes remarkably logical. As we age, numerous systems in the physiology begin decelerating, not dramatically or instantaneously, but progressively, quietly, annually. Your vascular pathways, for instance, commence losing some youthful pliability. The flexible walls that previously opened readily to permit blood circulation begin stiffening. Meanwhile, your testosterone, the very hormone-fueling desire, motivation, and tissue restoration, begins declining in small, consistent decrements. And then there's sleep. It doesn't arrive as profoundly or restoratively as previously. You might still obtain your hours, but your physiology doesn't utilize them as productively. And all these factors combine into one critical concern: diminished nighttime recuperation. This decelerated recovery influences many aspects, but it particularly impacts circulation. And let me convey something crucial. Regarding a man's intimate wellness, vitality, and confidence, circulation is paramount. It's not about testosterone quantity or muscular strength. If blood isn't flowing appropriately to the correct location at the proper moment, nothing functions as intended. Your capacity to achieve and sustain firmness, even your capacity to experience desire, originates with how effectively your circulatory system performs. That's why this beverage isn't merely a comforting evening ritual. It's a support mechanism, a signal to your physiology that it's time to rest, restore, and prepare for tomorrow with enhanced strength and vitality. So let me specify exactly what the beverage is, and more importantly, why it functions so effectively. It's a straightforward combination: warm water, pure pomegranate juice, and a slice of fresh ginger. Just 3 components. No added sweeteners, no caffeine, no artificial substances. Yet each of these 3 elements possesses a profoundly significant role in supporting your system, especially during sleep. Let's commence with the pomegranate juice. This fruit isn't merely delicious, it's a powerhouse of polyphenols, natural plant compounds that facilitate relaxation of your blood vessel inner walls. Consider your vascular pathways like garden conduits. When they're inflamed or rigid, water cannot flow through readily. But when the lining, termed the endothelium, is smooth and healthy, everything flows superior. Pressure diminishes, oxygen delivery improves, nutrients circulate freely, and your pelvic region, including your anatomy, receives precisely what it requires to remain strong and responsive. That's the marvel of polyphenols. They're not stimulants, they're supporters, quietly repairing and reconstructing what time has deteriorated. Now let's discuss ginger. This modest root, which you've probably utilized in tea or cooking, is accomplishing something far more impressive than adding flavor. Ginger has long been recognized for its anti-inflammatory characteristics, but beyond that, it actually facilitates stimulating nitric oxide in the physiology. Nitric oxide is the chemical communicator that instructs your blood vessels to relax and expand, permitting blood to flow where needed. In fact, this is the identical mechanism that many performance-enhancing medications attempt to replicate. But with ginger, you're collaborating with your physiology, not forcing it. It's gentle, natural, and safe, and that's something your physiology appreciates increasingly with age. And then there's the warm water. Most people overlook this component, assuming it's merely there to dilute the juice. But warmth is powerful. Warm water soothes your digestive apparatus, helps regulate your nervous system, and even slightly expands your vascular pathways, making nutrient absorption easier. Consider it like a delivery vehicle with its engine already operating. The warmth initiates everything in motion, so instead of the ginger and polyphenols merely remaining in your stomach, they're circulated into your bloodstream where they can commence working while you slumber. Now I know some may be questioning, can this genuinely make a distinction? And I comprehend the skepticism, but I've witnessed this function, not just in research or textbooks, but in actual men, in patients, friends, even family members who attempted it consistently and experienced changes. Not overnight miracles, but steady improvements. They slumbered more profoundly, they awakened feeling less foggy. And most significantly, they noticed a quiet return of something they believed was forfeited. That natural morning vitality, that quiet signal that their physiology was still capable, still responsive, still strong. And here's the essential point. This isn't about pursuing some long-vanished version of yourself. It's not about attempting to reverse the clock to your 20s. It's about honoring the man you are presently and providing that man the daily care and support he requires to continue living with confidence and strength. There's dignity in caring for your wellness, even in simple ways, especially in simple ways. That's why I value this beverage so profoundly. It's not another task on your to-do list. It's not another thing to obsess over. It's a quiet act of support, a small gift to your physiology before you close your eyes at night. You're not taking a pill. You're not forcing a response. You're permitting the physiology to do what it was constructed to do, to heal, to restore, and to prepare for tomorrow. Because here's the truth. Most men think they need to do something extreme to achieve results. They think if it's not difficult or complicated, it cannot work. So they skip over the basics. But I'm here to remind you that sometimes the smallest actions done consistently are what create the biggest transformations. When you consume this blend before sleep, you're doing something profoundly helpful. You're hydrating your cells, you're calming your nervous system, you're improving your circulation, and perhaps most importantly, you're reminding your physiology that it matters, that it's still alive, still worthy of care, still capable of joy. So tonight, before you retire, take 5 minutes, warm some water, pour a small amount of pomegranate juice, add a thin slice of fresh ginger, sit with it. Sip slowly, and think of it not as a drink, but as a quiet promise to your physiology, that you're showing up, that you're paying attention, that you're still in the game. Because you are. And tomorrow morning, let your physiology show you just how powerful that little promise can be. Now let's take a deeper examination at why nighttime is such a powerful and sacred window for men beyond 50. You see, most people think of sleep as the time when everything shuts off. But the truth is, for your physiology, it's the most active healing period of the entire day. It's during those quiet hours that your cells repair, your tissues rebuild, and your most vital systems start recalibrating for the next day. Your hormones, for instance, begin rebalancing themselves. Testosterone, which naturally declines with age, is released in short, strategic pulses while you slumber. These bursts are essential for muscle repair, intimate function, vitality, and even mood. Your nervous system also goes through a dramatic shift. It moves out of fight-or-flight mode, the stressed, anxious state we often inhabit during the day, and into rest and digest. This shift isn't just relaxing, it's regenerative. It gives your organs, especially your heart and vascular pathways, the opportunity to function without tension. And speaking of vascular pathways, they too begin a beautiful rhythm. Overnight, they expand and contract gently, almost as if they're being trained to stay elastic and youthful. That flexibility is what allows strong, steady circulation the next morning. Or not. But here's the challenge. If you retire dehydrated, inflamed, bloated, or full of sugar and processed substances, your physiology doesn't get the break it deserves. Instead of healing, it goes into defense mode. Your vessels stiffen, your heart rate climbs, your digestive system stays overactive, and the result? Poor sleep, weaker circulation, more bathroom trips at night, and sluggish vitality the next morning. That's why this beverage we've been discussing is more than just a few healthy ingredients. It's not just about what's in the cup. It's about the message you're sending to your physiology before sleep. When you take a moment to prepare something that nourishes your circulation, supports your tissue, calms your gut, and cools inflammation, you're saying something powerful without words. You're saying, I care about my recovery. I want to awaken strong. I am creating the environment where vitality is possible, not just wishing for it. And I promise you, your physiology hears that message loud and clear. It might not show up in a dramatic change overnight, but give it time. Night after night, your physiology begins to trust the rhythm. It starts repairing more profoundly. You may begin to notice small but meaningful changes: fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom, a more consistent and stronger morning stream, an ease in your pelvic area, more mental clarity when you open your eyes in the morning, and yes, a return of that familiar sense of preparedness, that quiet signal of healthy circulation. And here's the beauty of it all. This entire habit takes less than 2 minutes to prepare. There's no complexity, no scheduling, no prescription, just a few ingredients, a little intention, and a willingness to care for yourself gently, without judgment. But if you want to go one step further and truly amplify the power of this beverage, let me share one more layer of guidance. While the ingredients work on a chemical and cellular level, their effects are magnified when paired with gentle evening movement. I'm not talking about an intense workout. I mean something restorative. A peaceful 10-minute walk after dinner, a short session of slow stretching in your living room, even just lying on your back, breathing deeply with your eyes closed and one hand on your chest. These simple practices activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for genuine deep sleep and balanced hormonal activity. When that system activates, your physiology knows it's time to recover. And that's when healing begins in earnest. So now here's your new bedtime routine, and it's one that respects your age, your time, and your needs. You move your physiology a little, you breathe deeply, you make your beverage, and you sip it slowly, allowing your physiology to absorb every bit of its nourishment. This isn't about pursuing performance or youth. It's not about pressure. It's about creating space, physical, emotional, and hormonal, for your physiology to show up the way it was designed. Over time, this becomes more than just a routine. It becomes a ritual, a sacred moment in your day that reconnects you with your strength, your wisdom, and your physical presence. It becomes a quiet yet powerful way of saying to yourself, I am still in this game. I still have power, and I choose to support myself every single night. There's dignity in that choice. There's beauty in it, too. So tonight, instead of numbing yourself with late-night television or mindlessly scrolling on your phone until sleep takes over, I invite you to try something different. Walk into your kitchen, slice a piece of fresh ginger, pour a small glass of pure pomegranate juice, add warm water, stir gently, and drink with intention. Drink with care. Drink as if you are reminding your physiology that it is loved, not because of what it can do, but because of what it is. Because here's the truth you need to hear. You are not past your prime. You are in a new chapter, and that chapter can be strong, vibrant, and deeply fulfilling if you choose to support it. And it starts with small, consistent acts of nourishment. So thank you for spending these minutes with me. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to a new kind of wellness, one rooted in wisdom, in natural strength, and in the quiet confidence that comes from caring for your physiology with love. Your best years are not behind you. They are waiting for the moment you decide to nourish them. Now go drink your power.